Okay, make sure your warm-ups are done before you start the video. Here we go. Okay, we're going to factor. There is no number, well there is. There's a 1 next to my x squared, so I can factor the quick way. X. Well, here we go. Negative 11 plus 1. Negative 11 times 1 is negative 11. Negative 11 plus 1 is negative 10. I'm good, but it said equal to 0. So that means x minus 11 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. Whoops, 0. Plus 11 to both sides. X equals 11. Subtract 1. X equals negative 1.
So we have to do like all that, or can we just write?
No, you can just write x equals 11, x equals 1. Yeah, if you factor it, and then you're intelligent enough to know, oh, x equals 11, x equals negative 1, that's fine. Again, the number next to my x squared is 1. That's called a leading coefficient, because it's the first coefficient. X. Oh, then I just noticed something. What did I notice? It's negative 20, but the 20 is on the wrong side of the equal sign. So you have to move it, okay? So I have to add 20. In order to get that 20 to the correct side of the equal sign, this has to be set equal to 0. It has to move here. We're going to do 12.2 real quick, then we're going to do 12.3. After these guys get done, we'll come back and do 12.3. We're just doing this for Nicole. See Miss Practice. Okay, so here's what we have to do. We have to add 20 to this side and 20 to this side. So these 20s cancel out, leaving me 0 over here. Let's just go ahead and back it up. This cancels out, leaving me equals 0. Now, I cannot add 20 to 12x. I cannot add 20 to x squared. So I can't add it to anything. So I get x squared plus 12x plus 20 equals 0. Now I can go ahead and factor. Looks like 2 and 10 plus 2 plus 10. X equals negative 2. X equals negative 10. What is the distance between negative 12 and 6? That's going to be 18. There are 18 numbers between negative 12 and 6. Distance is always positive. I'll tell you right now, that will be on the CRT. Half of you will get it wrong because you'll pick negative 18. Distance is always positive. Always, always, always. Okay, so let's not read what's in the box. Let's first go ahead and do what we know how to do. Now, is my leading coefficient 1? No, it's 5. So now I got to go, don't write this yet. Do not write this. So now, in order to solve this the way I know how to do it, I go 5 times 1. What's 5 times 1? 5. So now I start listing the multiples of 5. Well, that's 1 times 5. 1 times 5 will give you 5. But I need to add up to 5. Will 1 plus 5 give me 5? No. Huh. Is there any way to get a multiple of 5 that multiplies to 5 but adds up to 5? No, because that would have to be 5 and 0. 5 and 0 add up to 5, but what does 5 and 0 multiply to? 0. So I don't have a way to do this. Dun, 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 dun. Enter the quadratic formula to save the day. So, a quadratic equation in standard form means the number next to your x squared we call a. The number next to your x we call b. The number by itself we call c. Then we have the quadratic formula, where we put the b value here and here, the a value here and here, and we put the c value right here. We plug it into that formula, and then we solve it. Now, we're not going to solve it all the way. We're going to simplify inside the radical and leave it alone. So here's what it looks like. This is what I do. This is what I do. I do what I do is what I do. So I go ahead and rewrite the formula, except instead of writing the letters, I put empty parentheses. So negative, the opposite of b. So I have negative, and then my b value is going to go in here. Plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. Now I go back in and fill in my values. B goes in the first parentheses. What's the value of B? 5. Thank you, one person. B goes right here. What's the value of B? A goes right here. What's the value of A? C goes right here. What's the value of C? And A goes here. What's the value of A? So now I go ahead and I simplify, but not all the way. What is the opposite of positive 5?
Negative.
See, this negative sign right here turns 5 into a negative, so I get x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root of, and now I can put this into the calculator. Do not put it inside the square root. I don't want you to take the square root of it. I just want what is inside that square root simplified. So inside my calculator, I go stop. Anytime you put a square into a calculator, anytime you're going to square anything or cube anything in a calculator, you always put it inside parentheses. Parentheses, 5 parentheses. Then I hit my square button. Minus 4. Parentheses, 5 parentheses, parentheses, 1 parentheses equals, this whole thing right here equals 5. Hello, hello, hello. Equals 5, so I can cut this way down. All over 2 times 5 is 10. That is my answer right there. That's as far as I'm going to take it. Now, please remember, if you get a negative inside your square root, what does that mean? No solution. Okay, we're going to do one more. We're going to do number 3. Number 3 is not set equal to 0, so I have to move the 7x. I subtract 7x to both sides. Now, I cannot add 7x to negative 4. I cannot add 7x to 6x squared. I have to put it, please pay attention, I have to put in standard form for a quadratic equation, which means I cannot put 6x squared minus 4 minus 7x. Cannot do that. That does not put it in standard form. So it has to be 6x squared minus 7x minus 4 equals 0. Must have your x squared first, your x second, your constant third. Why? If you don't, you mess up A, B, C. So now I have x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Fill in my values. What is the value of b, children? Negative 7. Excellent. B is not 7. See that negative sign right there? That makes B negative 7. So in here goes negative 7. In here goes negative 7. A is 6. C is negative 4. Must make C negative 4 all over 6. So now this equals negative 7 is positive 7. Plus or minus, now is when we run into the problem. If you do not put this in the calculator inside parentheses, it's going to tell you negative 49. Negative 49 is wrong. A negative times a negative is a, so negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. So 49 minus 4 times 6 times negative 4 equals, I get 145 inside my square root. Is that correct? All over 12. That's my answer. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to come in and ask. Have a great day. Bye-bye.